All right, guys, I have some bad news, and it looks like the Supreme Court has punted on a gun case. So let's go ahead and talk about it. All right, I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. Basically, there is a case out of New York called NSSF, which is the National Shooting Sports Foundation, versus Letitia James is the AG of New York, and New York passed a law that is, in my opinion, unconstitutional. Well, not really unconstitutional, but it violates PLACA. PLACA is the protection of Lawful Arms and Commerce Act, whatever, or Lawful Commerce and Arms Act. And it basically indemnifies gun companies from getting sued over the misuse of their products. Well, New York passed a law that basically said that gun companies can be sued over the misuse of their products under nuisance laws. What that means is it's a way around PLACA, and the circuit court up there, the Second Circuit Court, ruled that the law does not violate PLACA. So NSSF, what they did is they filed what's called a writ of certiorari with the Supreme Court, asking the Supreme Court to look over the case. Basically, a writ of certiorari is a petition to the Supreme Court for them to hear the case. Well, the Supreme Court has come back and stated that cert has been denied, which means that the case in the circuit court stands, and New York's public nuisance law remains on the books and in effect, which means that in the state of New York, gun companies can be sued for the misuse of their products. This is kind of similar to if you were to sue like a car company for a drunk driver, which is absolutely ridiculous. So this law will be abused by the anti-gunners, who will file all these nuisance lawsuits. We've seen nuisance lawsuits around the country, and New York has one of the strongest nuisance lawsuits. So the whole entire purpose of these laws is so they can make doing business in firearms incredibly expensive, and put a lot of these companies out of business. And with that, we have Flying Rich.
Crumpy!
What's up, buddy?
I missed your notice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So with that, basically, the Supreme Court has punted on another gun case, but we get that a lot, right? The Supreme Court punts on a lot of gun cases.
So are they punting on the case because there's a case that's coming up that they'd want to take that would be authoritative over all of these cases they punted?
That's a possibility, but I just don't see it in this case.
Huh.
I don't see this being possible. It is a possibility. When the Supreme Court usually denies a case, it's very rare. Well, it's not very rare. It's rare that they actually put why they deny it. Every once in a while, you will have a few of the justices saying, this is the reason why we think we should have taken the case. But the ones that deny it usually don't put why they denied it. And very, very seldom it is like the when Kavanaugh with the assault, one of the assault weapons ban cases, we are going to take up one of these cases. We just don't feel like this is the right one to take up. Mm-hmm. We didn't get that in this case. So, yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's just what it is. Hopefully, we will get another case soon, but not this one, which definitely does weaken Placa, which is unfortunate. So, yep, that's it. Hopefully, we will get a hardware case soon, and we should be getting the vampire law case like decision soon, which I think will go our way. So we'll have to see. But this isn't really a Second Amendment case as much as a Supremacy Clause case, because PLACA is a federal law, and there is the Supremacy Clause, which says that federal law overrules state law, and this is a state law that's kind of overruling a federal law. So I'm not shocked that they didn't take it, but I wish they would have. Rich, can you silence your cell phone?
See, I don't know why it didn't beep when you texted me, and now it's beeping.
Yeah. But yeah, any thoughts on this, Rich?
It's frustrating because when you strike out of the Supreme Court, that's it. There's nothing after that.
Well, you can file a motion for reconsideration, but
yeah, good luck. Good luck. Statistically, how often does that work?
None.
And that's the whole thing. I'm a little shocked at how few cases the Supreme Court takes every year. It just seems to me like they should be able to process more cases.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: there's 9 of them. They have limited bandwidth. We don't want to expand the court.
Oh, dude, I'm totally there. I'm like, keep it at 9. But even with 9 justices and their staff, they should be able to handle more cases. So I'm a little surprised at that.
I don't know. I mean, they have thousands, and we look at it from like the 2A standpoint, right? Where it's just 2A cases that we look at, but you got to remember that there is like thousands of cases that get filed for a registrar.
Sure. So are you telling me that the process of vetting a case, whether it should get certiorari, is a majority of the time that they spend? Or, and again, 9 justices, no more. I'm in on that. Unlike
well, they have a bunch of different. When it goes to conference, they discuss it, and then they vote on cases that they're going to take and stuff like that, and then they have a lot of writing to do, which is mostly done by their clerks anyway. Then hearing, and they do a lot of research too. I wonder if that's true.
That's a great point. If Fat Grayman, FGM as I call him, is right, that's interesting that they did take more cases prior to Roberts.
Is that true?
AI? I don't know. I
don't know. Okay, let's take a look at this. Here. Yeah, that's true. During the 80s and 90s, they took around 130 to 150 cases per term, and that is down to 60, 60 to 70, 67 now.
Wow. So 50%. They did twice as much in the past.
Yeah.
Now, I hate statistics like that because, of course, everybody uses statistics to lie. There could be many reasons for that, but just on the surface, that's a little scary that they're half as efficient as they used to be. I don't know if that means they give deeper inspection on things or they're busy having dinner parties.
Maybe.
Okay. I am told there was better nose candy in the 80s. Maybe that was the reason.
Because in the 80s, there was something called mandatory jurisdiction, too, where they would have to take some cases.
Okay. All right. So there are other factors. It's not just better dinner parties in the 2000s.
Yeah. Now they have they have more of they have a couple of different reasons. They have more of a say of what cases they take and what cases they don't take. There's a lot more appellate waivers now than there was in the past. The writings have gotten longer, more technical. But most of the cases that they deny now are more on the criminal side than anything else. So for most of the cases that they've dropped and not taken are more criminal cases.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's less criminal appeals now than there was back then. And there's less people that appeal decisions as well, especially if they think that they're going to lose at SCOTUS. It's the makeup is pretty like a case like Dobbs. You know how that's going to turn out, right? A case like Rahimi, you knew who that was going to turn out. Bruin, you should have known how that was going to turn out. So what a lot of these places do, and what we saw DC do back in the day with concealed carry, is choose not to appeal because they know that they're probably going to lose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The courts have me incredibly frustrated. I understand. First off, let me say the way the Supreme Court is situated, I wouldn't want to make changes. And there is one change I'd like to make, that I don't believe the Supreme Court has the right to make law. They can either rule that it is constitutionally valid or invalid and send it back to the legislature to fix it. Them fixing laws is ridiculous. That's a power that they were never granted under the Constitution. So that's one thing I would fix.
Like, can you give me an example?
So Obamacare, they basically rewrote the legislation on that. Roberts rewrote the legislation and changed it. So that's not a power granted to the Supreme Court, and it's very frustrating. I forget which president it was that said, you have your decision, now enforce it, go F yourself. Biden did that twice. He didn't actually use those words, but basically the Supreme Court decided against him twice, and he just continued doing whatever he wanted. And that was on tuition reimbursement for federal employees, basically waiving and paying them off effectively on their college loans.
Okay. I think those are two different things, but that's fine.
Right. It is two different things. But, I don't think the Supreme Court needs police. I think in a civil society, the Supreme Court makes a decision we should abide by. Believe it or not, Trump has been better about this than Biden. And everybody villainizes Trump, who I'm a Trump fanboy, but he is not my favorite person in the last 60, 90 days.
He's never been my favorite person.
Yeah, I'm not happy about the Iranians getting everything they want.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about what I thought about Trump for a while. But all right, well, that is it. Maybe we'll have some other breaking news later on, but not right now. And I don't know what that breaking news would be. So if we have breaking news, we'll be back. If not, we won't be back. And I'm in my Delaware house right now.
And I'm in a top secret, undisclosed location because I'm getting trigger kickers sent to me, and I'm absolutely not in Florida. When I make a video about trigger kickers, I will not be in Florida.
No. There you go. There you go. But yeah, I'm in Delaware. One of my lawyers is in Delaware too, so we're gonna go get some Japanese food tomorrow.
Cool. Hibachi?
Yeah.
Nice. That's always fun.
Casting couch rich.
I never thought of that. Now I'm kind of like feel bad about it. I do have other hotel images I'll throw in my background.
All right, guys. All right, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. And yep, I am not really done traveling, but I'm traveling to houses that I own instead of hotels. So beyond more. And with that, we're out of here. Thank you so much for watching. My name is John Crump, and this is over here. This is Flying Rich, and my freaking watch I just forgot to set today. Great.
Well, it's like a $40,000 watch. Shouldn't it do it on its own? I mean,
this is not a $40,000 watch.
My $200 watch does that.
This is not a $40,000 watch. Not even close.
Oh, it's a $100,000 watch. I'm sorry, I got that.
No. It's in the 4 digits.
So
it's a classic. It's a classic, man.
Wait, which one of your kids is wearing the $80,000 watch today?
Neither one of them wearing an $80,000 watch. No, this is just a classic. This is just a 1980s two-tone Datejust. It's just a classic. It's nothing too fancy.
I'll take all the blessings I can get.
It's not 9. No. Probably 5 or 6, maybe. With that, we're out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys later. Bye.